Hey, what's up everybody? James Brandon here. And in this ON1 short clip, I'm going to show you how you can make a really subtle but very impactful change to a photo using really easy masking techniques. Now, sometimes there's a time and a place for really complicated, intricate masks, but if you're just making a subtle adjustment to an image, you can get by with less intricacy, I suppose. And that's what I'm going to show you today. So we have this image. This was shot at the Karlsruhe Zoo in Germany. I went on a trip there last month with my family, and this was one of the snow leopards that was there. So it was just beautiful. So what we have here is we have this one photo. I'll hit G here to go to the grid view. And what I did was I just took this photo, I right-clicked it, and then I went down here to create version, which is a new feature in ON1 Photo RAW 2018. From there, I created this duplicate, and inside of the develop module, I just brought the exposure down a little bit, added a little bit of contrast to make the background look a little bit better, and that was it. So now we have these two versions, and all I need to do here is Shift or Command click the second one to make sure that they're both highlighted. Now that's on a Mac, so on a PC it would be Control click. And then we'll just go over here to Layers, and it's going to ask if I want to add this photo as a layer. It's referring to the second one, or Open as a new photo. We want to do Add as Layer. And here we are inside of Layers. So in Layers, we've got our layers of the image over here on the right side, or any layers that you brought into the document. And you can see here that we're looking at the darker one, and that's because the darker one is on top. So I can just click this little orange dot right here, and that will turn that layer off, and we'll see what's beneath it, which is the brighter one. So all we have to do now is just mask in or out, however you prefer to do it, this darker background. I like to put a black mask on my higher layers and then mask through it using white. You can also just do the opposite with a white mask and mask out the parts that you don't want in it. So it just depends. So what I'll do is with this top layer on, I'll hit Command I with that layer selected, and that's going to put a black mask over that image. And now, since black reveals while white conceals, we cannot see that darker image anymore. So we're looking at what's beneath it. So now I'll just bring up my brush by hitting B. I'll use my brackets to make it a little bit bigger, make sure that I'm painting with 100% opacity. And then instead of paint out, we want to paint in. So we're going to hit X to get that little plus sign, and you'll see that the mode switched to paint in. And then I'll just go along the edge of the tiger here. Snow leopard. And you can see how subtle and how easy this is. So I'm not doing like a super intricate pixel by pixel mask here. I'm just going to go along the edge of the snow leopard's body and just mask in this darker exposure. And because this is a subtle change, not a huge one, we're not replacing the background with a sky or a mountain scene that makes it look like the leopard is in its natural habitat or anything like that. So this is just making it a slightly darker, and that allows us to not be as perfectly precise with the mask. Okay, so I'm just going to go around. We'll do a kind of a quick down and dirty one, and then if we see any parts that need to be adjusted or fixed, we can do that on the second pass. Let's go around here. And then if you start to notice as you go along that maybe you went too far with making the background darker, you can fix that really easily too. And I'll show that to you here in a second. Let me just get this finished. Okay, I'll use my brackets to make a much larger brush, and then we'll go through and take care of all the parts that we don't have yet. Okay, and make sure you pick up your brush every now and again so that if you mess up, you can hit Command Z without erasing all of the brushwork that you've done so far. Okay, so there we go. And you can see just in that short amount of time, I've created an image that looks a lot better than before, because we have this snow leopard that's really popping off the page now, and the background is taken away because it's a little bit darker and it's less part of the image. So if you do feel like you went too far with making the background dark, all you have to do is come over to this layer right here, take your layer opacity, and you can take this all the way down to 0, And then what I like to do is I'll just take it all the way down and then just kind of go back and forth until I get a look that I'm after. And I do think that that might be a little bit too dark, so we'll settle on something like that. Okay, and there you go. Now, what I'll probably do here is hop into effects and then maybe add some sharpening to the snow leopard's face and body, and maybe do a little bit to the background, but we'll save that for another time. I hope you picked up some good tips here. It doesn't always have to be a crazy intricate mask, but that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.